Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. I hope some of you are getting to enjoy this beautiful weather that we're getting here in Ontario. Wherever else you are, I hope you guys are getting awesome weather as well. Today, I'm going to be doing the AALL and Create layering washi tapes, and I'm going to show you guys how those work. I've got some samples here to show you guys as well, and a really cool product. They came out, I think, late last year, like just around Christmas time, and we have hardly been able to keep them in stock because they're just so popular. But if you haven't seen, we have restocked all of the washi tapes, so they're all in stock now. Our most popular ones are also back in stock, got lots of inventory. So if you haven't seen, make sure you go check on xccrafts.com. We've got loads of layering washi tape. So without further ado, we'll just get started. I'm going to flip my camera over and show you guys some samples I have done already, what I can use for my background, and then we'll just get to creating. So these are just a few samples I have right now. This is one of my favorites with the birds. And this one is actually, the background is the AALL and Create paper. It is double-sided, so there are tons of options for colors that will coordinate with the layering washi tapes. And I do find that a lot of the colors are very similar, so you definitely one pack, you'll be able to get all of the layering washi tapes to coordinate nicely. So that's that one. I also did the background. You can see that paper behind. Now, the reason I really like the paper behind is because it shows that it makes it look like it's one full complete image. It doesn't necessarily look like it's an image on top of something, which is really cool, and part of the reason I really like the washi tapes. So I will show you how that works. And then this is one just to show you with the white background. And this one is a white background, but there is a little subtle stamp behind. So you can use stamps, you can do paper, you can even do colored paper, and that will slightly change the color of your image and obviously the background color, which looks really cool. So I have a black piece, which we might do later, and I'll see what that looks like because I haven't tried it on the black yet, and I really want to. Today, I'm going to show you how to do it with a washi tape background, and I think just to start, we'll do it on just a white background so you guys can see what it looks like. I've got 4 different rolls here. 3 of them are none of these images here because I wanted to show you guys kind of as many as I could. And then this one I already was using, so that is this bird here. So we'll get started with, let's do the cactus. So this one I'm going to do again just on white paper. So for this, I find it easiest when I'm doing my first layer or doing my first card using the washi tape. I like to use it on a glass mat. Plastic will work also because it is washi tape. It'll peel off really easily. Then I can put it on the paper afterwards once I have my image down. So we'll just get started. You can obviously either cut or tear your paper. I prefer the tear because if I can get the end of it with my nails, they're broken. So struggling with these nails. But yeah, you can cut them or tear them. I just like to tear because 1, it's easier, and 2, it doesn't have such a sharp edge. So I'm just cutting off the start of the roll because it's not the full image. I don't want that part yet. So you can kind of use, you can see on this tape, it actually does have a space between. So I'm going to tear where that first space is. I'm going to stick it down on my mat, and I know that this is going to be about the middle of my image because of what it looks like. Then my next one, there is that little white space again, so I'm going to tear where that is. And this looks like it'll go underneath, and you can kind of line it up with the image above. And there are like those little circles as well, so it helps. Let me try and actually bring you guys a bit closer. This might get a little bit wonky. Oh. Hold on, I think I unscrewed this a bit. Let me tighten it. Oh, I'm loosening it. Oh, loosening it. I think I'm tightening it now. Oh yeah, I can feel it tightening. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna move this up so you guys don't see my mess behind the screen. All right, so that should be a little bit closer so you guys can see a little bit easier. Again, we're going to go with the next one, and you can see there is a little bit of that white space between here. So this is actually going to go up top. So I'm just going to set that there because this is the middle layer here. So I'm going to put my middle layer down. Normally it starts with the middle layer for this, just because I tore the first piece off. And then I've got my top, move that down. And most of them are about 4 rows of tape. Some of them there'll be 4 and then maybe a little section at the top right. So it's kind of like 5 layers. And some even have like kind of a 6th layer. So it kind of depends on the washi style. Now this is just a repeating pattern around. You'll get about at least, I'd say, I think 24 images per roll. And hi, Maddie. I meant to say hello when I saw you pop up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a poker tool because my nails are busted. Actually, I think these nails might be able to work. I've got 2 nails that are my crafting nails and they break very easily. All right, so we're going to layer this up. Again, since that's my first one, we'll stick that down. Got to use my left hand. I'm not a lefty, so hopefully I can peel that out. There we go. And then my next layer will just go underneath. And again, there are pretty easy spots to tell where it's lining up or not. And if I did put it down crooked, I could always peel it off. Let me see if I can peel it off with my busted nail. So you can see you can peel it back and reposition it a little bit. Yes, I know this is a really cool washi tape. It is very different, Charlene. I love it because it's not just one strip. You get a full image. You can also stamp on top of it as well. So, whoops, that was a little bit crooked. Fix that up. There we go. And then my last one here. And then we'll do another image and we'll do it. I'm actually going to use the rub-ons to create my background. So we'll stick this down and then I'll lift it up to show you guys what it looks like closer to the screen. So this is the image there. You can see that the words I did slightly get off, but honestly, it's not that noticeable. So that's how it'll also help you line it up. Bottom to the top. So that's the birds. Let's do the hotline ring is the next one we're going to do. So I'm going to set that aside and we're going to do the rub-on transfers as the background. So I'm going to create my background first. I've already opened this up and gotten them out. Now, since this is, it's going to cover most of the transfer, I'm going to kind of just stick it around create an empty space in the middle and go around the edge. So I'm going to use one of these sheets. It comes with 2. One is a really good background one. I might do that after, but this one I want to pick and choose pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a spot on my page, use the little wooden stick that comes in it, rub on part of that transfer. And I might as well go down the edge here because this is also going to be shown. So that should be good. I'm just going to slowly peel it. All right, so I put down what I wanted to put down. So now we will do the side here. So we'll keep going along the top and do the whole top section. And again, I will avoid the middle because I don't want to waste any of my rub-on transfer. I'm going to go down the side now. I'm just creating kind of a border for my washies. And then I might just go down a bit. And I'm going to go along the bottom. But I know my image is about this size, so I'm going to not go right down to the bottom, but guesstimating. That should be good. And then along the left side. Okay, I'm going to peel that off and see what that looks like. Oops, I got some on a piece of paper behind. Did not mean to do that. All right, so I honestly think that should be good. However, I am going to add just a little bit at the top here. It doesn't have to be the exact part, but we will eyeball it. Okay, and then we'll just do a little bit more in that empty section, and then that should be good. Okay, now I'm going to start. I lied. I'm adding a little bit. There's a little white spot that I want to cover up. So add that. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like now. So let's grab our hotline ring and try and find the edge. Oh, there it is. And try and peel it again with my busted nails. This is an everyday struggle for me lately since I've broken them. All right. So this is going to be the middle of the image, but again, because it is slightly cut off, I'm going to not use that piece. All right, so this is going to be the bottom. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to place this right down on my paper. And the colors you can already see match a bit. I'm actually going to move it to the left. So lift it up so you can see the colors on the washi there match the behind images. Okay, my next one is going to be the top. So I'm just going to tear that off and just set that aside for later. Take my next one. This is the other top. Again, I ripped the first piece off like I did last time, so that is why it's out of order. That is because of me. There we go. Now my next layer is going to be the middle. Just layer that right on top. Try and get it as straight as I can. And my next piece here. And again, just layer that like so. And my last piece on the top. All right, there we are. So I would prefer to cut it down just because I don't need this white space at the bottom. So if I cut it down, I forgot my trimmer, it would look like so. So we will, let me just double check actually. Is there a trimmer? No. No trimmer, because Emily forgets things while she does these lives. Okay, let's do another image here. Let's do the cactus. Let's do this one. This is called the blooming splodge. And this one, I'm going to do another background using the, make sure there's nothing on that. There's two pieces there. Using that transfer. But this time I think I'm going to use this transfer. So I think that's a good color for the blooming splodge. And I'm just going to layer this down in the center and just go crazy with my wooden little tool. So I want this full image transferred. Before I just picked bits and parts and pieces that I wanted. Couldn't waste it, but this one I'm just using the full background. And since it is so abstract, if I did not completely get every single little piece, it will not be noticeable. I actually did a very good job. I just obviously didn't do all the edges, but that's okay. So I'll show you what that looks like. And this is pretty identical to the papers, just minus the actual needing to rub on anything. They also have stamps that create similar backgrounds too. So if you wanted to stamp to create a background, they have some. And we also have it on our website. Okay, start with the blooming splodge. This one, I think I'm going to have to tear off the first piece again. If I can get it. There we go. There are a couple flower ones that I'm just obsessed with, but this is one of my favorites because of all the pink in here. Now this one, it is not as noticeable where you cut. So with the ones that aren't as noticeable, I always find it easiest to do a template. So you're going to have your first layer, and I always refer back to it when I'm doing multiple. So this one, I just know that it's going to tear here because the flower is starting to show there. So I'm going to put this on directly. If I mess up, I can just tear it anyway. I should have done the edges. Now that I'm realizing the washi tape is a little bit further, I think I can go back. Let's just go back and add the edges. Add some stuff on the edge. Got some more here. And then we'll do a little bit on this edge, just so it doesn't look like I didn't get it all down. And a little bit more down here, actually. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect. That should be good. And I might as well just add this. I know I never know when to stop. I just like to keep going. You guys are probably similar. It's like you keep going until you're like, oops, I think I overdid it. But now I think that's good. Next layer. Again, I know that this is flower starting to repeat, so I know that I'm going to need to cut it here. This, I believe, goes underneath. Yes, it does. So I usually always keep kind of one just on a piece of cardstock, so that way I know exactly what my image looks like when I go back to do it again. This is going to be the top, so we'll set that aside. And then this is our middle piece here. And again, I just know to cut along here and place that down. Hopefully, I think I'm off the camera a little bit. There we go. And there are some black splatters on here, which are helping me line it up better. Oh, I don't need that. My top piece, like, ooh, I'm gonna tear that off. There we go. All right, there we go. So there is that. I do wish I brought my cutter so you guys could see, but when you cut it down, it looks more like that. You can see the paper size. You can see it was taller than the card. Since this was only 4 layers, I trimmed it down just so that way it was not as many empty spaces. However, this one is not trimmed down. And this one is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 layers. So that is why I didn't trim this one down. So it kind of also just depends on the washi tape that you're using. So that is the splodge. I think I might want to do this one on the black. I might try it on the black because I'm curious. And then I'll do the birds after. The birds is a little bit of a different one too. So well, again, I'm going to actually use this as a guide. So have that beside as I'm building my image. And again, I know just to tear there. This is going to be about the middle. Try and straighten it. There we go. This is going to be the bottom. Line it up. And then this is the top. So I'm just going to set that aside. And then tear this. These are so fun to do. And if you do different backgrounds, this also makes it a lot more fun because you're kind of making different looking cards using the same washi tapes. That one's slightly off centered, so I'm just going to peel that off again. There we go. Perfect. So that is it on the black. So you can see how it changes it again slightly. So these are the 2 same of the washi tapes, but one's just on a black backing, and one's got that cool transfer background. All right, next I'm going to do the birds. And I think I'm going to do this one on the white as well because I really want this one to be able to show nicely. So I'm going to try and find the start of my roll. Here it is. And I'm going to use this as a guide since it's already done. I could, again, put it on my glass mat and then put it on my card like I did at the beginning. But I'm just going to use this as a guide because it's easier. And since I used this last, I did cut off part of his tail. This is the last time I used this, so I'm just going to get rid of that piece I don't want. And this is going to be about the middle. So I'm going to, looking at it, tear right between these 2 wings here. So right between that. And that's going to go about here, like so. Then we'll grab the next layer. And this one is just going to get cut at the end of his beak. And I think I did do this. Oh, no, I did it right. If you ever think that, oh, I tore it in the wrong spot, it's okay. Just maybe if you weren't supposed to tear it there, just tear it off and then place it in that spot. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So say I accidentally tore it. Oops, that was a funny tear. Say I accidentally tore it here and I was like, oh, there's actually more to the image. So this is what I do. I place that down first, and then I will just go back with this and line it back up. So it's not the end of the world. However, now the bottom of his thing is not lined up, so I need to peel that a bit. Try and straighten that out. There we go. That's better. Then we'll do the next one. Okay, so this next one looks like it's part of the top. So you'll notice that this bird wing is just added in this section. So I know because of the rainbow that this is going to be at the top. So I'm going to cut I'm going to tear it on an angle because I need part of that bird wing at the top. Set that aside for later. And then this goes underneath. So I'm just going to cut that, place this underneath, line it up the best I can. Then that lines up like so. So you can see this is 3 layers so far, but because there's a piece in here I'm going to be using for later, it's only technically kind of 2.5 pieces. So we'll do the next layer and then the top. So pull this, tear it, then this goes on top here. Or does it? It does. I'm just trying to figure out how do I line this up. Is there a guide? No, so there's nothing actually that is perfectly, actually kind of some of these words line up, so we'll line the words up. But it's not absolutely perfect. So if I did move it, this piece further to the right, doesn't really matter. And then back with this top piece where the wing is and part of that rainbow, I'm gonna line the wing up and then place it down. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 5, and you can see it's a lot longer and taller than this one is. So once you get your first one again, it's much easier to do the rest of them. And then if I wanted to, I could add a sentiment on here. This is how I added mine. I know, I love the birds. There's, I think, 3 bird ones that I'm obsessed with. There's one here. Oh no, there's actually, I think, more than that. So there's this bird one, there's this bird one, there's a flamingo one, which is one of my favorites too. And there's also another, I think they're hummingbirds, a hummingbird one too. And I think I don't know my birds very well, but yeah, I think there's 5 bird ones total, 4 or 5. All right, I'll just show these back off again. That is using the rub-on transfers with the hotline ring washi tape, the blooming splodge with the transfer, and then the cactus one. And we have the the letters and numbers. And then, oh, this is the other bird one. And there's the flamingo one too. All right. Well, that was all I had to share today. I hope, oops. I just clicked something. There we go. Sorry. I hope you guys had fun. Hopefully you learned something. Next week I will be back. And then the week after that, I'm actually away. Thank you, Marianne. Then I'm actually away. So it might be Shanika coming on, or I might do a little pre-recorded video. We'll see. We'll see what comes into. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I have to do something with that. So you will see me. Don't worry. I'll still be doing the Facebook while I'm away. Someone will be doing it. It'll either be a pre-recorded Emily or it'll be Shanika here on Friday. Again, just to remind you, I'm live some of you guys don't know this. I'm live every single Friday at 12 o'clock, and all of these are available to rewatch after. So if you do miss any, you can always watch them on our Facebook or our YouTube. All right, that's it for now. I will see you guys next Friday. And until then, I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Maddie.